Hot off the presses for Doom of Dimensions, we have a brand new theme introduced to the OCG and TCG, and it is a theme based around Mystical Space Typhoon. And it is the card that you're thinking of. The old MST Negate meme is now officially a reality. So let's get into it and let's look at these cards. These are the brand new Kenrin archetype, and they all deal with special summoning themselves if you have a Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard. So let's get into it. So first up, we have Kenrin Taru, the Megala. It is a Wind Fairy effect monster that's a level 3, 500 attack and 1500 defense, and you can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. If you have a Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard or your opponent controls no spell and trap cards, you can special summon this card from your hand. If a Kenrin quick play spell or a Mystical Space Typhoon is activated, you can special summon one Kenrin monster from your deck with a different name from the monsters you control. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except the wind monsters. A very great start for the deck because it allows you to summon out any of your Kenrin monsters from your deck, literally free of charge. No negations, no nothing, only drawback, you're locked into wind monsters, but that's absolutely fine. Overall, I definitely think that this is a great start to the deck, so let's keep going. Next up, we have Kenrin Taru Erdem, and it's a Wind Beast effect monster that's a level 3 with 1300 attack and 800 defense, and you can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. If you have a Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard or your opponent controls no spell or trap cards, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Kenrin monster or Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand, except another copy of itself. Overall, the Reinforcements of the Army card is really good, as always, being able to add any of your Kenrin monsters or Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand, and this is what I meant, that Mystical Space Typhoon is the core centerpiece of the deck, and honestly, I definitely think that this is going to be a very interesting deck going into the Doom of Dimensions format because of what this deck is going to be doing, as you can use cards like Totem Board, or even go into Harpy's Conductor to get something on the lines of maybe the Harpy's Featherstorm to run with this deck. So there's a lot of options that we could do already with the deck, and I cannot wait to see what else that there's going to be for it. Next up, we're going to be looking at Kenrin Taru's Suin, and it is a Wind Beast Warrior effect monster, level 3 with 1600 attack and 400 defense, completely searchable off of Fire Formation Tenki. You can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. It has the same summoning condition as the previous two, so I'm going to skip over that, and I'm going to skip over that for the next few, as if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Kenrin spell or trap card or a Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand. Overall, being able to search your spells or traps is really great, or if you just need a Mystical Space Typhoon, you are off to the races. Overall, the start of this deck is very good. We have ways to get to these cards, and we also have ways to combo with these cards going off into other combo lines and other pieces you can go through. So overall, very strong start for the main deck monsters. Now let's get into the higher level monsters. We have Kenrin Taru Crothea, I believe that's how you pronounce it, but it's a Wind-Winged Beast effect monster that's a level 6 with 2200 attack and 1200 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If a quick play spell card is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Kenrin card or one Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck to your hand and or graveyard to your hand, except Kenrin Taru Kothea. And also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except wind monsters, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects while your opponent controls no spell or trap cards. Overall, it's a really interesting card because it can add any of your Kenrin cards from your deck to your hand or Mystical Space Typhoon, or it can recycle them back from the graveyard back to the hand. Overall, I think this is going to be one of the main ones that you will be summoning off of the first one that we covered, off the effect of Megala, so you can get a recursion back from the graveyard to the hand, or if you need to get another name from the deck to the hand, which in my opinion is really useful. Overall, so far, these cards are very interesting, and I cannot wait to see what else we have coming forth. Next up, we have a really special boss monster being Kenrin Kairi of Valrune. She is a Wind Aqua effect, level 9, 0 attack and 3000 defense, and you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If a quick play spell card is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. When your opponent activates a monster effect and you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, quick effect, you can negate that effect. Then, if you have 2 or more Mystical Space Typhoons in your graveyard, you can destroy that monster. And if Mystical Space Typhoon is activated while this card is in your graveyard, you could special summon this card. Or special summon itself, I should say. Overall, it's a very good recursive boss monster, being able to have a monster negate depending if you have a Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard is really good, especially with how we can get many copies of Mystical Space Typhoon immediately. But just being able to special summon it from the hand if a quick play spell card is activated is really good. I can already see all the Runic players are cheering because this is a support for them because all their cards are quick play spells. So that's one thing you could do. You could run it with a lot of other things. So honestly, this is a very nice type of deck to fit other roles that decks are missing, especially in decks like Harpy Lady or even on the line of other win decks that are just piles. So overall, definitely a good boss monster. And let's get into the other one because I think the next one is going to be very interesting. Next up, we're going to go look at Kenren Goka Phoenix. It is a Wind Pyro effect monster that is a level 9 with 3000 attack and 0 defense. 2 level 9s, enter Blethner. So there's an option that you can do. If a quick play spell card is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. If a quick play spell card is activated, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, shuffle them into the deck. And if Mystical Space Typhoon is activated while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. So overall, this is a very powerful monster, being able to just activate a quick play spell, target 2 cards your opponent controls, put them back into the deck, immediate just board removal if you need it. Even though it's targeting negate or targeting removal, it's still really good against decks that need to have their ignition effects to go off, or if they have an effect that needs to destroy something on the field. So honestly, it's going to be interesting to see what else this deck gets and how players will utilize this deck, because there's a lot of things I'm seeing right now that could be used, but a lot of things that can't be used. So it's just one thing you get to see and have it test out where things go. And now let's get into the spell and trap cards. All the spells are quick play spells, so let's go over them. You can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of this card's name once per turn. Add 1 level 4 lower Kenren monster from your deck to your hand, or add a Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And if this card is destroyed by the effect of Mystical Space Typhoon, you can set this card. Constantly just being able to go activate this, pop it with MST as a chain link 2 or higher, so you can do some funny plays going around certain cards. But honestly, I definitely think being able to add any of your Kenren monsters at a level 4 or lower is really good. And this does open up the room that there are going to probably be level 4 Kenren monsters in the future, but we'll have to wait and see on that, because honestly, it doesn't match the theme how they have it right now, being 369, but we'll have to see on what Konami does on that in the future. Next up, we have Kenren Taru Kenjin. It's a quick play spell card, and you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of this card's name once per turn. Send 1 Kenren monster from your deck to the graveyard, or add an MST from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And if this card is destroyed by the effect of MST, you can set this card. Being able to foolish any of your Kenren monsters, especially things like your Phoenix, or even just sending Kyrie to the grave, is really good. And overall, I definitely think this is going to be like a 1 of 2 of, because sometimes you want stuff in the graveyard, other times you don't. But honestly, just being able to add an MST back from your graveyard to your hand is really good, and being able to just search it out from your deck is still really good. So overall, I definitely think it just adds more consistency to the deck for a Mystical Space Typhoon, but getting some of your monsters to the graveyard is really good. Next up, we have Kenren Taru Kenshin, and it is a quick play spell. You can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of these effects of this card's name once per turn. Draw 2 cards, then discard 1 Kenren card or quick play spell, or if you do not have any of in your hand, discard your entire hand, or you can add a Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and the same second effect as the last 2. If it's destroyed by the effect of MST, set it to your field. So this is a Allure Darkness for the deck. being able to draw 2 to discard a Kenren or a quick play spell, so it could be literally anything. This helps Runic quite a bit because it gives you additional consistency to what you're missing with the current semi-limitation of Fountain, but it's still really good being able just to draw 2 to discard 1. And this just fills up your graveyard. You can get multiple Mystical Space Typhoons in the grave, or you can just search it out straight up. Overall, these spell cards are rather simplistic, but overall I'm really happy with these. So let's get into the last card, being their trap card. Now finally we have Kenren Taru Kanun. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if it isn't, but it is the continuous trap card of the deck. Once per turn, you can target 3 quick play spells in your graveyard, including a Kenren card. Apply these effects in sequence. Shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1. Wind monsters you control will gain 300 attack and defense for the rest of the turn. So honestly, having a draw 1 and an attack boost is really good, especially on some of the weaker monsters, but it could also help end the game quicker. Then the second effect is once per chain, when Mystical Space Typhoon is activated, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effects. MST officially negates now. This is the meme that people have been using since its release back all those years ago, back in Magic Ruler, I think, or Metal Raiders, one of the two. But it's great to see that the meme finally can die and it becomes a new meme. If this card is destroyed by the effect of Mystical Space Typhoon, you could set this card. So overall, what do I think about the Mystical Space Typhoon deck? It's really cool. I am really excited for this deck, as it's one of the things that I've always wanted, being, oh, I want this as a deck, as we've seen things from the past years getting its own deck. But overall, I definitely really enjoy this Mystical Space Typhoon archetype, and I cannot wait to see what players do with this, especially going into the Doom of Dimension format, which is going to be in September for the TCG, but July for the OCG. I definitely think it might be a cool contender that players can use, as I also, on top of that, I really hope we get the Samora going 3 back so we could utilize it with Phoenix. But anyways, I've been BoltSpider. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next video. If you're new here, hit that like button and the subscribe button, and hit the bell to get notified whenever I upload. Also, I do have channel memberships, which is just $1 a month, which gives you a shout out at the end of these videos. But anyways, I've been BoltSpider. See you all in the next video.